All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is the brother of war from the Great Millstone Atlanta camp. And as you can see, we're out on the highways and byways for another Saturday. And today I'm going to be doing a Godspeed to preach the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And this specific Godspeed is going into, us enduring tribulations. And the fact that these tribulations that the Lord puts us through are not to destroy us. So I'm going to start it off with Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. And it reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." Right, so if you come to serve the Lord, if you come into the 100% truth, and you're truly desiring to, find and discover, so to speak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and be, joined to the Lord, you have to prepare your soul for temptation, because the Lord is going to build you up by, taking you through different difficult situations. You might have low moments in the truth. You will have low moments in the truth. You're going to fall. The scriptures tell us that we fall 7 times, but the righteous get back up. They don't stay down. So every time you get back up, you grow stronger. You learn how to, stay on your feet and, get your pivot right, The Lord perfects you through allowing you to fall. So it says in verse 2, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble." Right, so set your heart aright, which is your mind. Keeping our minds on this truth. Keeping our spirits in prayer. Continuing to fast and just do the different things that the Lord commanded us to do and told us to do in order to be built up in Him. Fellowshipping with the brothers. All of these things are ways that we set our heart aright and constantly endure. Because Satan wants us to just be a lone wolf, and to be in a dark room just beating ourselves up. But constantly enduring, the Lord has us coming out on the highways and byways every Saturday, posting lessons, like I was saying, fasting, afflicting your soul, denying the pleasures of your flesh. It says, verse 3, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." So speaking to myself firstly, these things that I just named, amongst others, we have to continue to do these things to the best of our ability up until we're saved. That's how we truly endure, and that's how we cleave unto the Lord, because we're not letting them go. We're not letting go of the things that He told us to do, which is us not letting go of the Lord. So, jumping to 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 6, it reads, "Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season it be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations." Right, so even within those seasons where we experience a heaviness, we might be, going through, like I was saying, a low moment in the spirit. You might be praying for something and the Lord don't give it to you right then and there. You might be dealing with certain things from your past, or the old man trying to come back, certain lust or temptations, wicked thoughts. All of these things, are part of that season that the Lord will put you through, but it's ultimately to purify you. As verse 7 says, that the trial of your faith, right? So us being in those seasons of heaviness, it's ultimately a trial of our faith. It says in verse 7, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth. Right, so this trial that the Lord puts us through is more precious than any form of substance, or any form of value that we could receive in this society, because it's ultimately building us up to be saved, to be transformed into eternal gods that can't feel pain, that can't sin anymore, no more salakias, because we're not going to do anything to be asking for forgiveness for. That's what's going to be given to us in the kingdom of heaven, but we have to go through that trial. That's why it's so valuable. It says, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Right, so even though the Lord is putting you through the fire, it's not destroying you. It's purifying you so that you are, found acceptable and pure, in the presence of Yahweh Shai when He comes. To, as it says, might be found unto praise and honor and glory, so that you can receive these things, because you've been purified, and those impurities that's within this world has been taken out of you. But, that was the point of this lesson. Lord willing, I was able to edify you, brothers and you sisters. And until next time, shalom.